Now, how about them damn Celtics?
And we are back with another episode of How About Them Celtics. Sam and I are here recording Saturday, January 31st. We have 5 days until the trade deadline, and there's plenty to talk about because nothing has happened yet. How you doing, Sam?
Man, it is February, early February, and we're talking about things that haven't happened. That's what we do. But should be a fun show. We haven't done a full pod in a while. We do the game recaps, which serve as nice fillers. But finally, a recording day without a game, so we can sit down and get down to business. We'll talk about what the feeling is about the Celtics going into the deadline, even though nothing's happened yet. Like, there's still things coming out. Like, maybe they'll do whatever. Anfernee Simons, who has been in trade rumors since he got off the plane or before he got off the plane, talked about the idea of being traded, what it's been like playing here, etc. Jack was at the event for that, so we'll go through it. We'll go through your emails today. We have plenty to get through, and then we'll go around the NBA, talk some standings, talk Giannis, talk other trade stuff, and do the rat list and get out of here. It should be a lot of fun. Stick around through all of it. We're here every day. Full pods, Tuesday, Thursday, Sunday. Game recaps, morning after each game. Other videos are here in between to keep you up to date with all things Celtics. But yes, without further ado, Celtics have been on the phone, it sounds like.
Yeah. I mean, listen. It sounds like the Celtics are going to do something or would like to do something, right? Going to maybe is a bit much, but from the initial thoughts of it all, it does sound like the Celtics are going to be active at the trade deadline. Ian Begley of SNY most recently was writing some Knicks rumblings and stuff like that, and he mentioned the Celtics amidst his league-wide speculation stuff. He mentioned them in the same breath as Giannis. I don't think he connected them to Giannis, but so the trade deadline is less than 1 week away. I don't think much has changed on the Giannis Antetokounmpo front since we touched it on Thursday. One thing that I keep an eye on as the deadline approaches, the Boston Celtics. There was a school of thought that Boston would look to shed salary at the deadline, but the Celtics have been taking the opposite approach recently, looking for ways to improve their roster. As others have noted, the Celtics have talked to teams about deals that would improve their front line. Also mentioned Goga Batadze and Yves Missi as two big men he's keeping an eye on. So there's a lot to keep an eye on, as he mentioned, and as I just said a second time.
Yeah, it's tough because like this time of year, there's so many different things coming out, and RJ actually messaged me about this. He was like, "How do you and Jack kind of sift through what you believe, what you don't believe, what you think's garbage, what you don't think is garbage?" To be honest with you, I think anything that we hear is garbage at this point. I don't know if it's just because we do a show 7 days a week and we look for content, so we end up talking about just about everything that comes out. But we've heard a lot over the past several months, and nothing has happened. I don't care if anything happens at this point. I think they would do themselves right by getting a little bit of extra reinforcement for this team. I think this team has earned it. But I don't really care. I don't want them to do anything crazy unless it's really going to benefit them in the long term. And we've heard all sorts of levels of moves. Like you mentioned it, like Yves Missi is the latest one, and that's fine. Like he doesn't make a lot of money. He's young. Like you're seeing the type of production that the Celtics are getting out of Nemias Queta and Luka Garza, two guys who are average, above average, maybe big men in the NBA, and like they're getting real impactful production from them. This isn't like, sure, Nemi goes in there and holds his weight and like is vanilla ice cream, or Rui, tell us whatever the Portuguese traditional flavor is, ice cream, but like you don't just want the floor from those guys. Like a lot of times they are plus players. So thinking about what they could do to develop somebody like Yves Missi, who's been playing for the Pelicans and like, or not playing so much for the Pelicans, it's fun to think about. It's encouraging to think about the way the Celtics have developed big men in the past. And like, it does feel like there is increased, like, you know how like sports books will do the odds boost for certain bets during certain games. Like if you trade with like the Pelicans or the Kings, like you get an odds boost on player development because you can trust that there's some level of incompetence going on within those type of organizations where they've just not really scratched the surface of what they need to be doing to get this guy right. So like that's interesting, but there are just so many different directions this could go, and like I don't know. Jack says all the time, like the Celtics don't really leak stuff. Like if you're hearing stuff, I'm sure things happened. Like I don't dispute that they had an offer on the table for Zubac and it wasn't accepted. They were interested in this guy and that guy. But the fact of the matter is you're hearing those things and those guys are all still on the same teams that they're on. So it probably isn't going to happen. But I don't know for sure.
I feel like there is a big part of this that a lot of the market is held up because of the Giannis stuff. It's like the Durant thing a couple years ago, but to the nth degree, right? Like anybody wants Giannis, realistically, right? If the Celtics could put a package together for Giannis, they probably would be interested in at least trying. Right, like he's that good of a player. He's probably the second best, third best player in the NBA. He's not like super duper young, but he's not old, right? He's 31. He's probably got 3-4 prime years left of top-notch basketball competing, especially if you put him in the right situation. I think any team around the league would be silly not to try to trade for Giannis. So if you are the Clippers and you're interested in Anfernee Simons, or you are the Warriors and interested in finding help elsewhere, you're the Knicks and interested in trading for Jose Alvarado, right? Anything. You need to wait. Because if you have a chance to trade for Giannis, you need to trade for Giannis. And so, ironically, I have a feeling this could be one of the busiest deadline days we've seen in a long time because everyone is waiting for a Giannis trade to happen. And if a Giannis trade doesn't happen, everyone's going to be scrambling to try to do stuff at the deadline to improve their rosters this season. And maybe Giannis gets traded, maybe he doesn't, but it's going to be like a constant, how can we keep an eye on this type thing?
Yeah, and you can't blame them. I know, like, this week since the Giannis thing came out, there have been people who've broken it down to where if you're Milwaukee, you probably don't want to do it now. You probably want to wait because teams that have draft picks, like Miami and New York specifically were mentioned, where in the summer they are legally allowed to offer you more draft picks than they are right this second. So by waiting, you can get a bigger haul, which ultimately makes it more worthwhile for them. And to be honest with you, the teams that are in on Giannis, like he's going to be out for a month and a half. He's going to need time to get used to playing in your team. Doesn't mean he's going to suck, but like you're probably not going to hit your peak with Giannis right away. Like it's going to take a little bit of time. So the motivation to do it now would just simply be price if you can convince them. But is Milwaukee stupid? We don't know. Like that's another team where
it's true.
You look at the last several years of moves and it's like, well, they might be stupid. They've showed us they've done stupid things, but I think they can look at the rules and understand that. And it really could lead to a hectic Thursday. Jack's just going to be way up in the air when it's all going down.
Yeah, I'm on a plane.
Wi-Fi purchase on the plane.
Yeah, it's going to be brutal. At least I'm flying JetBlue, so I will have Wi-Fi. Now, hear me out here, Sam. What if the Hornets just trade for Giannis? They say, fuck LaMelo. We're nasty because of Brandon Miller and Con Knipple. Let's get Giannis in here and really fuck things up. Because that Hornets team is good. They got Charles Lee, who was a coach on the Bucks for a while. Knew Giannis, knows Giannis. Con Knipple's awesome. Brandon Miller has been playing great. Right? You've got Ryan Kalkbrenner, who looks good. Moussa Diabate looks good. You've got guys, right? Tajon Salon has started to figure it out a little bit. Zion James has been good as a rookie. LaMelo Ball, Trey Manley, and McNeely, 3 unprotected firsts, 2 swaps. Something stupid, right? You just say, hey, we're going to do it. We're going to go for it. We're going to make this happen. And then best case, you probably have a chance to win a championship with Giannis in the next 3-4 years. I would say you definitely have a chance to win a championship with Giannis because like those guys with Giannis around them, I think elite. Worst case, you're really good playoff team for a long time. And Con Knipple and Brandon Miller get a lot better. Like really, really good. I don't know. I don't think it's going to happen, but their team, with how good they've been, with the Charles Lee connection, with the fact that they could probably offer LaMelo that you look at least in my opinion, and be like, Pacers too. I don't hate the Pacers for Giannis either, and they're not being talked about because no one thinks they're not good this year. But if I'm the Pacers, I take a look too.
If if you're the Hornets and you get Giannis, you said it like you might win a championship. Winning a playoff series would be nice. The
Yeah,
Charlotte
right. The
Hornets,
upside.
the Charlotte Hornets have not won a playoff series since 2002. They have not won a playoff series in almost a
Yeah,
quarter century. If
that
you
wasn't
go and
even
get
them.
Giannis, right? Like it was in name only the Charlotte Hornets since they
Yeah,
came
this
back. Like
iteration of the Hornets hasn't won a playoff series.
yes, they've made the playoffs thrice. They made it in 2009, 2010, where they were swept in the first round. They made it in 2013, 14. They were swept in the first round. And then in 2016, they lost to Miami in 7 games in the first round. For them to get Giannis, it would be like something, to be honest with you, like something that's never happened there before. They wouldn't know what to do with themselves. I would love to see the look on Giannis's face when he's like, man, I've been teasing playing for the Knicks for 10 years or however long. He's just been like, maybe I'll go play for the Knicks someday. Or maybe I'll play in Miami, like these big cities. And then they're like, sir, you've been traded to Charlotte. And his jaw just drops a little bit. But like ultimately, if they managed to keep enough pieces together, it would be a smart move for them. Paul George has just been suspended for 25 games.
Way. There's no
Wow.
way. Okay, I'm sorry. I need to be mean for a minute.
I was going to
What
say
is he
the same
averaging
thing.
this
You go
season?
ahead.
Let's take a look. 16, 5, and 4 on 42, 38 splits. Actually not too bad. Paul. Hey, new podcast just dropped. Get ready.
Oh yeah,
Podcast B.
What is he? What company is he with? The Volume? They just like sat up in the chair.
So guys, they got me.
The ratings on that first episode would go crazy.
They're gonna go crazy. Before we do continue, I want to tell you guys about PrizePicks. PrizePicks is the best place to get real money sports action, the sports season, whatever it may be, basketball, football. I don't know if they're gonna do Olympics, but that'd be interesting to keep an eye on because the Olympics are coming up too. But speaking of football, the big game is almost here. There's no better way to cash in during America's biggest sporting event than PrizePicks, where it always feels good to be right. And since the big game is right around the corner, that also means it's your last chance to get into the football action before next season. So close the season out right with PrizePicks by getting $50 instantly in lineups when you play your first $5. You can find your community on PrizePicks with the new social feeds feature. You can share PrizePicks with your friends and copy lineups from winners with a single click. Copy lineups you'll use them as inspiration for your own picks, and you can even follow PrizePicks partners and tailor fade to picks with just a single click. New feature alert as well. PrizePicks now has early payouts. If your player gets off to a hot start, you now have the option to cash out those winnings before the game even finishes. Join millions of users and sign up for America's #1 sports picks app. Download the PrizePicks app today and use code CLNS to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. That's code CLNS to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. PrizePicks, it's good to be right. But yes, plenty of trade stuff, and we can keep talking about the trade stuff. But I had to do the ad read. You know what's funny? Have you heard of Kalshi?
No, what is this?
Like the betting thing that's like going viral everywhere because you can bet on anything. Stocks? It's stupid. Yeah, I please don't use this. I don't even think it's legal in Massachusetts. I'm using this to set up for a joke. I just wanted to make sure you're familiar with what it is. Like you're familiar
the SWAT
with
team
Kalshi.
is coming.
It's like you can bet on random shit. Right. However, I wonder what the likelihood is that Shams breaks a trade during the Celebrity All-Star game. It's got to be pretty high, right? Oh no, the All-Star game's after the trade deadline. Fuck. It's after the trade deadline, isn't it?
Yeah, wait, why? What was the joke?
I forgot that for some reason I thought the All-Star game was like before the trade deadline and nothing has happened. But let me rephrase. What are the odds Shams breaks news during the Celebrity All-Star game? It just feels like a bit that the NBA would run. Like, oh, is that Shams on the sideline? Why is he on his phone? What's he doing? Like, it's inevitably going to be a bit, right? Am I crazy?
I
He's
don't
playing in the
understand.
Celebrity All-Star. Shams is playing in the Celebrity All-Star game. He's playing.
Oh, this I didn't know. I didn't know that part.
He's playing in the Celebrity game.
Okay. Did you
And
say
so,
that?
No. I just thought you
Okay.
knew.
Okay.
And so
yeah, I have
I
the
said-
Celebrity All-Star roster printed out over here. I just forgot to look
he
at
tweeted it, and I assume you have his tweet notifications on.
Usually, if
He
I don't
tweeted a
see
clip
like,
of him saying it.
oh, if it's a clip of him saying, I definitely didn't watch it. I hate you pre-rat list is I hate that his news breaks are a lot of the times in clips now. Like, just give me the words. I don't want to watch you talk.
Whatever, bad bit, doesn't matter. I don't know where Giannis ends up. I said this at the time. I still do think it'd be interesting if the Celtics get involved as a third team in a Giannis trade. I just don't know what it would look like.
Well, it just depends who the other team is. Like you're sitting there like salivating, thinking about the potential rotation pieces that you could poach from this. And in years past, like this has been, I mean, the Celtics have benefited from this, but it feels like the new formula for trading superstars is like multiple trades. It's like a domino effect of trades where you can try and maximize the value you're getting. Because I mean, when the Dame trade happened, they get Drew Holiday, and then they're like, what can we get for Drew Holiday to supplementary make more retain more assets rather? That could happen with the Giannis trade, because you mentioned Charlotte, right? If you're trading with Charlotte, I don't want LaMelo. If I'm Milwaukee, I do not. That's probably just not. You might have to take them for salary reasons, which is the tough part. I really want their young guys, but your goal then becomes, what can I get for LaMelo? What can I extract from this asset? Because you're simultaneously clearing bad money. I don't know. I wonder, and it just depends where he ends up. Just came out from Stein that Portland is like kind of sticking their head up, being like, we wouldn't mind having Giannis on our team. So that could be another team.
Yeah, they have a good trade package. They have a trade. I don't think they wouldn't even have to trade Drew. I think they have a great trade package. If I'm the Bucks, I'm very interested in that trade package because you can get your picks back. Like that. If I'm the Bucks, that's what I want. That's number one. I want some of my picks back, as many as I can get. But the other thing is, so I know the speculatory thing that I was like, oh, I wonder what the Celtics can get was, can you get Mitchell Robinson or Josh Hart? And then it came out that the Blazers were like, oh, maybe Mikal Bridges instead. If you're the Celtics, do you want Mikal Bridges? I wouldn't hate Mikal Bridges. And I know you're going to say, oh, it's a little redundant. I stand by this. Talent is talent. He's an elite basketball player. He's a very, very good basketball player, and he doesn't make as much money as you think. He's averaging 16, 4 and 4 on 50-40 shooting. He makes 25 this year, and then he gets up into the 30s. But and the most he makes is 40s. He makes in the 30s for like the entire like duration of his contract. Paul George is talking about his stuff. He was seeking. He took improper medication. It's fine. I would not hate Mikal Bridges on the Celtics. Now, I don't know that the Portland Trailblazers would trade him to Boston. They might just want to keep him because the whole point is that they like him a little bit. But if I'm the Celtics, I'd throw a first or two to get a Mikal Bridges type.
Yeah, I question whether or not New York would want to do that with Boston. But again, it would be supplementary, so it's not really the case. The salary isn't bad, especially up front. It allows you to kind of move off Simons and maybe like, well, it can't just be one more thing the way this is gone, because they're first apron. They can't take back more money, yada, yada, yada. He would be a good asset. Like I'm not really a redundant type guy. To me, basketball in the NBA, you can have three wings. You don't need two guards, a forward, and then two bigs, or two forwards and a big. Like, I think Jalen is pretty versatile. I think Mikal is versatile. I think asking him to do less on the Celtics would be helpful. He isn't like a primary scoring option for the Knicks either. And they frequently voice their frustration about his lack of production at times. But defensively, he could be a great asset for the Celtics. I'm sure he would fit under Mazzulla. I don't know. It would be funny if the Knicks just smoked themselves by getting Giannis. That's the risk you run nowadays with these big mega trades.
I think it would be absolutely hilarious if they just get smoked. Like if they just accidentally fuck up. Like I think that would be the most hilarious shit in the world. But we'll see. I don't know if they'll actually end up doing it. Anyways, we can move on to Anfernee Simons quickly. Speaking of some trades, he was recently at an event, Fit for a Cause event at the Ironback Center. I was there. This isn't anything crazy. It's nothing particularly new. He was asked about trades at a press conference a couple weeks ago as well, and he said pretty much the same thing, as you do when you're asked about the same thing multiple times. But he did say he's been, he's felt at home in Boston this year. He said everyone's been trying to do their best to make him feel comfortable in this community. I've been feeling very comfortable. Like I said before, it feels like I've been here longer than I actually have been here. And so it's just a family type organization. And it feels very comforting when you come into a new situation and everyone's wrapping their arms around you and making you feel welcome. And then when asked about the trade deadline, he said, once you've been in the league for 8 years, I think the rumors become constant. So a lot of them could be true. A lot of them, most of the time, aren't true. You just got to continue to control what you can control and continue to go out there and play for the team and continue to try to go out there and get a win. It's hard to say anything else. Like I can't imagine if I'm being asked, like, hey, do you think you're gonna have to move cities in 3 days? Like it's kind of fucked up. It's kind of mean, but it's part of the job. It's part of our job to ask about stuff that happens. And about an hour before we talked to Simons at this event, Chris Haynes reported that he was, on the trade market, and in the most classic Chris Haynes, "yeah, no shit, buddy" report you've ever heard in your life. But regardless,
the context of that is earlier in the week, Scotto put out hey, they tried to trade him to the Clippers. Good job, Chris Haynes. Of course, he's on the trade block.
Did you see the bit that everyone was just like, Chris Haynes probably just pulled the Tatum stuff from the podcast too and reported it as his own stuff?
Yeah, it's so bad. I'm sure he knows things. He wouldn't be where he's at if he didn't. But I don't know, read the room, pick your spots a little better, something. Like, it lines up too perfectly. I will say this about the whole Simon situation. Whatever's going on, he knows. I don't think he's going to be blindsided. If they're shopping him, Brad Stevens has told him that he's being shopped. Brad Stevens doesn't operate in secrecy within, right? Like, he gives these guys a heads up. I think he's pretty fair about it to them. That seems to be his MO from everyone that's left. Like, Drew had a lot to say about that this week when he was back in town. He said Brad kind of told him what was going on, etc. So I would imagine that he's aware. I mean, he's probably just been aware since he got here, to be honest with you. Hey, we might trade you. You make a lot of money type shit. But, I hope he stays. I think he's been good here. I think he's a good fit. I think his personality has really shown that he's willing to work. His effort, his willingness to defend and get better at that is a character-defining type of growth that we've seen this season. And he looks super comfortable coming off the bench now. It's not awkward anymore. He understands his role. He's legitimately turned games on their head for the Celtics, and that's not nothing. It's an important thing to have. If they trade him, I hope they get something legit back. Like, if they do a luxury tax dump, it's going to actually hurt me. I'm going to be upset.
Yeah. Okay. Let's check in with the emails here. Reminder, as always, you guys can email us at hbtcpod@gmail.com. That's hbtcpod@gmail.com. We have a few to go over. So let's take a look right now. First one is Ian Soderland. What's poppin', guys? Recency bias aside, watching Amari run around around Rob in the Blazers game made me think, do we need to spend on a center? There was some talk about Time Lord returning, but I think we have a younger, more developmental version of him as a two-way guy. Amari isn't as athletic as Rob was, but then again, neither is Rob anymore. Why trade for a guy when you have a younger version of them on your bench if he can develop as it looks like he is? Maybe I'm just out of touch with the team and league, but how important is getting a center this year? Do we think this crew can make a real surge in the playoffs with an upgraded center for the spend to be worth it? Would it be better to give Amari some run to get the developmental for the future, or this year if it works faster? Do we expect Simons to walk and thus better sending him out now? All that to say, spending for Zubats is very different than spending for Rob type, and is a different level of the same layer discussion. Food for thought while I wait for reports to generate at work. Best sods. I still think it's worth spending if you can get a upgraded center. I think Zubats is an all-NBA, all-star type guy. Like, he's that good. I think the same of Isaiah Hartenstein. Like, I think a lot of these guys are really, really good. I think Nemi has been awesome this year. I think Luka Garza has been awesome this year. I think Amari has shown flashes. if you can spend a first or two and get a guy who's under team contract for this year and at least next year and maybe the year after, I think it's worth doing, because I think having a guy who can also play at an even higher level proven is worth it.
Yeah, I think like the two you mentioned really makes sense because the longevity reasoning. You want to make sure you're getting somebody who's going to be here when Jason Tatum's back, and they can fit in with Jason Tatum when he comes back. What I'll say about the two guys they already have is I forget who shared the stat today, so forgive me, but Nemi is like 1.4 points per possession in the pick and roll, and Luka is 1.38. Like, they're both very good and efficient pick and roll centers. Boston has done a great job of finding guys who screen, get their primary playmakers open. As Luka Garza said before the season to you guys at the practice facility, he was like, my main thing I'm trying to learn is how I can work as a screener to make things easier for Jalen, for Derek, for Peyton, for Anfernee. And he's really walked the walk on that, and it's showing when he's on the floor, right? So when you look at these guys that they're being linked to, well, we're the ones linking him to Hartenstein. There's been no official reporting being like they're going to go.
Yeah. That was just me being like, ooh.
But to be honest with you, that is as much value as any of it, honestly. If the money works and you can find a pathway and you haven't heard about him, it actually might be more legitimate than guys you've heard about, because that's just the way they operate. We said it earlier in the show. We say it pretty much every time we talk about trades. If the Celtics are doing stuff, you probably don't know about it until it's dead. So if they got Hartenstein, his ability to screen, his ability to make push shots in the short roll, he would be a dangerous piece for Boston. Not to mention he's like a pain in the ass workhorse guy on both ends of the glass. Like, oh, what a fit. What a fit he'd be. To get to the Amari point, I think the run is good. I think it's good for his development. I think we've seen small growth throughout the season. Doesn't mean he's like going to be a rotation piece by the playoffs, but the way that he was impactful in the Portland win isn't nothing, especially after like in the Detroit game, the NBA Cup game where they had probably the best win of the season at the Garden. He was out there. He didn't do much except for being annoying, but he was out there and able to compete against a good team with good size. He has a future. It's just about getting him comfortable and being able to handle the speed of the NBA, I think.
Yeah. Speaking of those pick and roll numbers, like that low-key could be a good place to look for who could the Celtics trade for. RJ's brought him up a million times. Marvin Bagley has been really, really good this year. Like he is scoring 1.35 points per possession in the pick and roll. He's appeared in 36 games for the Wizards. He's hurt right now with a back issue. But he just it's been like 10 days, right? He was playing consistent basketball before that. So if this is just a couple weeks thing and he's back, then listen, he's played 19.3 minutes per game this season, 10 points, almost 6 rebounds, 2.6 offensive rebounds per game in his 19 minutes. Noteworthy, considering how much the Celtics love to crash the offensive glass. 62% from the field, 39% from three, albeit on very low volume. He's only shooting 7 of 18 in the year, but like it's been great. Like Marvin Bagley's been really good. He's on a minimum contract. It is expiring, but if you're talking about here's Washington to take a couple seconds, I think the Celtics would take Marvin Bagley. Nick Claxton, if you're looking to spend, great in the pick and roll. 1.28. Those ball handlers in Brooklyn, 1.28 points per possession at the pick and roll, pretty damn good. Other names, Jock Londell's been pretty good in the pick and roll. Okongwu, who we've talked about as a spendy option. Jaren Jackson, obviously, is the really spendy option. Daron Sharp. So names to keep an eye on. That could be a good place. I don't know why I stopped sharing the screen because we're still doing emails, but I'll go back to it. The pick and roll could be an important place to look when you're looking for screeners and guys who can make an impact. But
I just think
thank you, Ian.
Important thing. Like the way the Celtics have built teams, Brad is like playing basketball Moneyball and just finding guys who can help them set good screens. Like that's his, can they get on base? Can they help guys get open? Can they help create offense? Like, do they have a skill that is worth putting them on the floor for? That's the way the Celtics have looked at their personnel for the last couple seasons, it feels like, at least the fringe guys.
Yeah, you got to be able to make an impact. Ian, again, I believe, says, what did the Bucks do with Antetokounmpo? Poppin' gents, with the news dropping from the Bucks, I wanted to know what you think they do with Antetokounmpo. I've always heard he's a great culture and moral guy, but this year just isn't it for him on the court. He's averaging career lows in minutes played, rebounds, points, and assists. If you ignore the year with the Knicks. What? Giannis? No, that's not interesting news to me. They will send him somewhere we all hate and get an amazing return that people will say wasn't enough no matter what. I want to know what they do with Thanasis. Now that his reason for being in the league, at least in the Bucks, is leaving. He's on a 1 year, $2.9 million deal, which is something. But then again, it's only 1 year, $2.9 million. That's all I had today. Take care, Sods. He's going to go wherever Giannis goes.
I reported it as soon as the Shams news break came. People tell me that Thanasis is also open to a new home, and it would not be surprising if he was attached in the Giannis trade as like also, a little like Labubu on the backpack type thing. Yeah.
For what it's worth, Giannis, yes, is career lows right now in minutes and points and stuff. He's still averaging 28, 10, and 5.5. And somehow, Sam, with this roster, which would you agree this is the worst roster he's had since his like first 2 years in the league?
Yeah, I saw somebody on Twitter say it was like the worst 2 through whatever in the entire league.
He's having his most efficient season ever. Despite that. He is shooting 64.5% of the field, 39.5% from three, albeit again on only one attempt. But then also 66% from the line, which is better than he usually does. Like his effective field goal percentage is the highest it has ever been. So yes, he's having a down year, but he's also in a brutal situation and he's still extremely efficient. He's still Giannis, is my point.
He's trying his best.
He's trying his best, and
he's trying his best when he's like, he's not going like, maybe I'm going to leave. Watch out. I think I'm going to leave. Oh no, I don't want to leave. I want to stay. But
I mean, I know you're mocking it. That probably is what he feels. Like, ironically, like you're saying that to mock him, but like if you're Giannis, you do want to stay, but you also realize that like if I don't leave, I'm like never going to win. So there is part of you that is like, I never wanted to leave Milwaukee, and I believe him when he says that. I believe he never wanted to leave Milwaukee, but I also believe him when he's like, okay, listen, I'm 31. I probably have 4 years left. You guys put yourself in a position, you guys being the Bucks, where you're almost going to be incapable of competing for the next 4 years because of the Dame wave and stretch, because of the Dame trade, because of the contracts you've handed out. So like, I kind of get it. I don't think he's handling the situation well, because I do think it's a little stupid. Just say exactly what I said. But like, I do understand why he is quote unquote flip-flopping, because he probably does feel both things.
I don't think it's wrong for him to feel conflicted, but at the same time, I think like the way he's handled this has also like led to the Milwaukee Bucks.
Yeah, that's
some things, because they're like, fuck, he's gonna leave. Get rid of Dame so we can get him more help. And then like, oh man, we lost in the first round to Miami. Get rid of Drew Holiday, get Dame, like that kind of thing.
Well,
like, I'm not saying it's like completely his fault that they haven't had things work out in the last couple of years, but like, not for nothing, like Giannis has been hurt in the playoffs 3 straight seasons now. Like, that's not nothing. And like, it doesn't mean that he shouldn't get a say or like whatever. And I don't think Giannis leaving the Bucks should make Bucks fans hate him. Giannis has had a better career with the Bucks than most NBA players will have with any team. So he deserves a ton of credit for that. I think the way the league is going is changing. I think requesting a trade is like the actual honorable way to leave a team now. I've come around on that, where Giannis could just wait for his contract and opt out, and then they get nothing. He's like giving them a chance to get some sort of, hey, remember me for this. Like
yeah,
he's like, it's like when people die and they plant a tree with their ashes. Like, that's requesting a trade as a superstar now.
Yeah, I don't know, man. We'll see. Thank you, Ian. Next one, Julian Rosa says, Celtics trade deadline ideas. Okay, this is lagging. Hey guys, hope all is well. Top 3 centers I would like to see the Celtics target are Kongwu, Reed, and Zubac, but I think it's pretty obvious that these are 3 names that would simply cost too much to get at the moment. So here's 5 other centers the Celtics could target with the packages next to them. Nick Claxton, Simons plus the 26 first. Miles Turner, Simons plus the 26 first. Yves Missy, Tillman, and Boucher in the first. Mark Williams, Tillman, and Boucher in the first. Moussa Diabate, Tillman, and Boucher in second-round picks. This part is extremely unlikely, but with Shams reporting that Giannis is now fully ready to move on from the Bucks, I have to bring up the possibility of the Celtics trading for him. I brought the idea up to you guys in the offseason. If I recall correctly, you guys did not believe the Bucks would trade Giannis to us unless they got JB in every first-round pick and first-round pick swap from us, and did not believe that it was worth the Celtics doing. can understand the hesitancy and unwillingness to trade JB considering how well he's played. But at the end of the day, we're talking about a 2-time MVP, a finals MVP, and a depoy who is less than 2 years older than JB. It just seems like too good of an opportunity to at least throw an offer out for. This is probably also the highest Jalen's value ever be, and I believe with Jalen's ascension, it makes the trade even more doable. I attached 2 trade packages for Giannis. One of them is Giannis straight up, and the other one includes Kuzma. Both packages leave us with first-round picks in 27, 28, 2030, and 2032. 29 first-round pick was part of the Drew trade. For the trade where we also get Kuzma, I have us giving up Simons instead of Pritchard because Kuzma's contract makes him a negative return of trade. Thoughts? Thanks for your time, Julian. The first one is Giannis for Jalen, Pritchard, Jordan Walsh, a 26 first, a 2031 first, and a 2030 swap. And the other one is Giannis and Kuzma for Jalen, Simons, Walsh, and the same 3 first. I don't think I would do either.
If you're getting Kuzma, you give up less draft capital. You don't you don't get as many picks if Kuzma comes along.
I don't think you can trade Jalen right now. I stand on that.
I think trading Jalen right now would be like,
it might be worse than trading Isaiah Thomas.
Yeah, that's the one I was looking for. I was like, it's not the Luka trade, but like it would have like a similar feel, like you just did him dirty. Like Jalen is like writing his Celtics story. As dumb as that sounds for a guy who just won a Finals MVP 2 years ago, but like this is what people are really going to remember this season. It's like, man, this guy is backpacking this team that we all thought was going to be in the lottery or could be in the lottery, and the way he's gone out there and competed every single day and carries a chip on his shoulder. And then on his off days goes out in the community and delivers Christmas presents to people and all this stuff. Like, just to be like, hey man, enjoy Milwaukee. Here's Giannis, would be nasty work. Like, yeah, like you look at the trade and be like, makes sense. Like, can't pass up Giannis. Like, if it happened, we would all come on the podcast and say it was like nasty, but then we would talk ourselves into getting Giannis, and then Giannis would be on the floor and we'd all like Giannis. Like, that's the reality of the NBA. But if it was up to me, I would like to not do this. But if you did it, I would talk myself into it.
Exactly. As far as these trades, I don't think this is enough value for any of the players involved, except I think this could be good for, excuse me, I have to cough.
There should be something you say when people cough, like bless you, but there's not.
I do say bless you. I don't think that's enough value for Nick Claxton. I think the Nets would want 2 first, and you know what? I might give up 2 first. I think Nick Claxton is that good. I think he would be that good of a fit. Miles Turner, keep him off my basketball team. I'm all set. I don't think he's very good, and I don't think he'd be a good fit on this Celtics team. Eve Missy for Boucher in a first. I wouldn't trade Tillman. I think unironically, like Tillman's too important to the locker room. I don't think it would be good to trade him. Eve Missy for the 26 first. You could probably sell me, although this is a pretty good draft class. And so if the Celtics are like, we like somebody at the end of the first round who we think could be better than Eve Missy, then they probably won't do it. I don't think the Suns are doing this Mark Williams trade. I think he's actually been pretty good for them, and they're like actually competitive. So I don't think they're looking to just sell. Yeah, he's averaging 12 and 8 in 24 minutes a night. I don't think
they're playing well.
Yeah, and he's their starting center. I don't think they're just going to trade him. And then same thing with Moussa Diabate. Like, the Hornets have been on fire lately, and he's like one of their top backup centers. He's playing 25 minutes a night for them, averaging 8 and 8. Like, I just don't think they're going to trade him. So I would like most of these guys except for Turner, but I just don't think the teams they're on would trade them for this level of package.
I've seen some stats about the Hornets since they started being good for the first time ever. Diabate has been a part of like their nastiest lineup. It's like him and the 4 other like best players are like a plus 25 net rating. Like, it's crazy. They've been dominant with him. LaMelo and him have a nice relationship, which people are making fun of. I do not think they are remotely interested in giving that guy up right now. I agree with you on Tillman. I just don't think any team is going to – the Celtics are just going to be like, we like him. He's good. Like, you might actually see Tillman back for a new deal after this current one. Like, I wouldn't be shocked by it. Like, he just gets like a guaranteed job for a couple of years. But the Boucher stuff is real. I feel for him. We talked a little bit about it yesterday because he had the 3 at the end of the Kings game where he's like, man, I haven't played in 3 months. Leave me the fuck alone. Let me shoot my 3. Like, I don't blame him. And he's trying to get more miles out of his NBA career. So these guys are all good names, though. Like you thought outside the box. Like, this isn't like
no, these are good names stuff. For sure.
Like, we do appreciate this, but the Diabate thing is like you're knowing he's good because he is good, and they know he's good too.
Yeah, it's tough. But thank you, Julian. Appreciate you. The all meh list, says RJ. Morning, folks. The game against Atlanta was, another game against Atlanta. For whatever reason, the Celtics seem to have difficulty playing them effectively, which got me thinking, while we all have our most exciting and most disappointing games, what would you rate the worst games where the Celtics just never seemed in it? It might be the shooting is off, the intensity never shows up, but the result is you kind of look at them, the team that night, and be, who are these guys in Celtics gear? The top of my list is the game in Milwaukee where the starters sat the entire second half. Yep. What are yours, B-Well RJ, who figures we need a break from speculating about JT's return?
Jack, I'm there with you.
Yeah. So off the top of my head, I don't know.
Game 7 Miami.
Game 7 Miami.
I mean, I only remember the ones that matter, right? Like, so like Tatum hurts his ankle and it was New York dead.
Game 6 New York was bad.
Yeah, that was just like they showed up to get killed. They
exactly.
Gave,
they were dead.
Their final fight in Game 5.
Yep. Yeah.
Earlier this season, I'm sure there were a couple like
the Bucks game earlier this season where they just
that was one that you're just like, man, what are these guys doing? It happens from time to time.
Yeah,
honestly.
It does.
We did a short episode for that game because we just had nothing to say. It was a tough game to cover. I didn't have any thoughts after. I was just like, what do you do? Like Joe Mazzulla even said, it's like a bad day at the office. What do you want?
Yeah, there's not much you can do about a game like that. But last email, RJ again. Morning, folks. With the season's worth of superstar performance wearing on JB, I thought it's time to look at the lineups that can give the Celtics a different look, but enough of an oomph while he rests. The key to these is the return of Josh Minott. With Josh back, the C's can run a variant of double big with Minott taking the perimeter in either Keita or Garza inside. The other 3 on the floor would be 2 of Pritchard, T. White, and Simons for ball control, with Hauser as the forward getting backed up by Walsh or Gonzalez. Baylor could come in as either a big guard or a smaller forward is needed. Amari Williams could also provide filler minutes. If Coach Mazzulla wants to go to the single best, with a single big to rest Minott, slide Hauser at the floor and rotate Ugo Walsh here, go with 3 guards. It sounds weird, but it would give the Celtics a better ability to get up the floor quicker against a scramble defense. That's my bit of mad science for the day. What do you think? B-Well RJ, who hopes Nick NBA is around for this question too? Oh, well, sorry, we'll ask him. I don't want to dull anyone's sparkle. I don't know if Josh Minott will be back in the rotation. It doesn't look great for him at the moment.
Yeah, it hurts my heart. It's my guy. Had a nice little you go first. No, I'll go first. No, you go first moment with him yesterday. He was coming out for his warm up as I was heading to the press conference. Then he went and I said, "Oh, you're my favorite player." And I walked away. But it sucks because it sucks and it doesn't suck. The reason why he's not getting opportunities is because everyone else is so good. Like Baylor Shireman just had 16 points. Mazzulla's raving about his defense. He was the guy that was sitting on the bench while Minott was a big part of the rotation. This doesn't mean I think that they should trade him. I think there is going to be a moment where he is important. I think when there are matchups that don't really favor Luka Garza, it's a good time to give him some burn again. I think Mazzulla needs to remember that. It needs to be like, just like when they sat Luka Garza for a month, I was like, well, this doesn't make sense every game. But I don't know. At the same time, if you're not getting consistent minutes, it's just hard to go out there and produce. Like Luka Garza is giving you great production right now. Do you really want to take his rotation spot away every other night because you don't like the matchups? I don't think so. So it's a slippery slope. Maybe somebody else will need rest. I did think with JB out yesterday, I thought there was a chance Minott would slide in the starting lineup and then the rest of the guys would play their normal playing time like they did with Amari, and Luka Garza still came off the bench in that game. But yeah, I mean, he's 2 of 3 from 3 since he came back. Like the shot, except for that first shot that he took, hasn't quite evaded him, which is good. And I would like to see him get opportunity because I do think he does things really well when he's out there. But I don't blame the Celtics for sticking with what's working, even though they haven't been good this month.
Yeah, it's tough. It's tough. All right, NBA stuff. We can jump on over to that now. Let's check in with the standings. I don't think too much has changed. Honestly, nothing really changes in the East nowadays. Nothing really changes across the NBA nowadays. It just feels like everyone is running in circles. But the Pistons still in first place. The Knicks technically have retied the Celtics for second place in the Eastern Conference, but they are both at 5.5 games. Then you've got the Raptors, Cavs, and Sixers rounding out the next places, the top 6 in the East. Magic, Heat, Hawks, Bulls in the play, and then Hornets, Bucks, Nets, Wizards, Pacers. Hornets are making a run. I'll say. Excuse me. I'll say that they're breathing on the play-in.
Yeah, the Hornets might get in the play-in. I think like they might actually make me right. I think before the season, I was like, man, what if like they like kind of get up near the play-in? Like they were my Pistons team this year, where I was like, hey, I think the Pistons are going to be good. Then they won 14 games or whatever they won. Cleveland is the team that stood out to me the last time I looked at the standings, because like though the order hasn't really shifted here, I was like, damn, they're close to the Celtics all of a sudden. What the fuck? Like I was like, Celtics could all of a sudden be in 6th place tomorrow, even though it's a little different now that Philly lost Paul George, and they're mediocre in their last 10. Cleveland has been on a nice little stretch. I think they were 8-2 in their last 10 before they lost to Phoenix yesterday. They got stomped out by Phoenix, by the way. That wasn't pretty. But yeah, New York, 5 in a row. My fun's over. It was nice being like, man, they hate everything. The Giannis trade rumors are ruining the chemistry. Cat, sad cat now. It was a lot of fun. Orlando's been pretty brutal. I've heard like bad things about what's going on there just from like podcasts. Obviously, I'm not talking to anybody. They've really not found an identity. This is a disappointing season. They have a difference of 0, like pure mid, as the meme says. Jamal Mosley is just hanging out with all of his new players, all the first round picks they gave up for Desmond Bane, and all Desmond Bane does is attack people. He had a flagrant foul on somebody. I forget who it was. Literally, like just what happened to Baylor Shireman the other day in the Hawks game that was reviewed and not deemed a flagrant foul happened with Desmond Bane, and it was a flagrant foul for him. So things are happening in Orlando, but none of these teams are really interesting beyond Charlotte. I would love to see Charlotte get in the play-in. Fuck the rest of these teams that have just been in the play-in for years. Give somebody else a shot to shine. Charlotte, your time is now.
The Hornets. It's the Hornets' time. Western Conference, OKC still in first, but Spurs and Nuggets only 5 games back at them. Then you got the Rockets, Lakers, Suns. Rockets who have surged back up after a rough patch. Suns have overtaken the Wolves for the 6th seed in the Western Conference, which is crazy. They're 30-19, as are the Wolves, though, so they're tied. Warriors are finding a little bit of a rhythm. They're 4 games above 500 now. Blazers still in 9th. Clippers have finally leapfrogged the Mavs and Grizzlies for the 10th spot in the West. Then you got the Mavs and Grizzlies right there, and then the Jazz, Pelicans, Kings. Just ass.
Guy in the Michigan hat meme. This means something to me, man. The Clippers officially in the play-in. They're one of the hottest teams in basketball lately. I think they've won like 16 of their last 20 games. They've just been on a tear since they started off 6-21. They've been incredible. Jokic is back. Played his first game last night against the Clippers.
Stomped the Clippers.
Dude, I saw this Jokic pass that made me cackle. He threw out of the high post a behind-the-back bounce pass to a cutting Peyton Watson for an open dunk. I was like, this guy is crazy. Everything is so nonchalant with Jokic. I'm actually so bummed that he wasn't here for the Denver game. Like, the Celtics lost. Like, if they're going to lose, Jokic might as well be out there, right? Like, if he's not going to be there, capitalize, get the win, make me feel good about not seeing him, that guy is such an incredible watch. He's the man. I'm happy he's back. All these teams out west except the Lakers are awesome to watch. Like the Lakers are just a fraction of a point above a 0-point differential. Like this team is fraudulent. They're fake. They stink. They just beat up the Wizards really bad, and they had Bronny doing dunks. I'm seeing a lot of Bronny dunks on the timeline. He's just getting a lot of garbage time one way or another. That's the way it goes for them.
One way or another.
Harrison is leveraging for them to trade Gabe Vincent to Philly to be the Paul George replacement.
Shut the fuck. That's ridiculous. NBA section, we'll run through it quickly. The Giannis teams to keep note of. Knicks, Warriors, Wolves, Heat emerging as suitors. What is this from? Is this from Shams? Where is this?
This is just from everything I've seen.
Oh, okay.
Since
I
Giannis was like, "Hey, I think I'm gonna leave."
I mean, it makes sense. Knicks, New York, Warriors have
Knicks
the
are getting
Kuminga
everyone.
package and all the
Heat
picks.
are getting
Heat
everyone.
are getting everyone. Wolves is a bit interesting, but I guess it's just they could trade Reed and Randall and find a way. They don't have picks though, so I don't know how they'd get there. But maybe it's Jaden McDaniels. But yeah,
I need to just start making a journal of all the picks. Just so I know off the top of my head, this team has picks, this team doesn't have picks. Just so when these guys become available, I can be like, this team.
Wolves traded for Gobert 3 years ago, so they don't have picks.
Man, as bad as that was at the time, he's fit well there, but it stinks that they don't have picks.
Yes. If they had traded some for Gobert, it'd be great. They just traded all. They traded all of them for Gobert, which is crazy, and still is crazy. Last trade thing before we go to the rat list quick. DeAndre Hunter to the Kings potentially is a thing. Apparently, Scott reported that Cleveland and Sacramento has discussed a framework that would send DeAndre Hunter to the Kings or Keon Ellis, Dennis Schroeder, and Dario Saric. First of all, I don't know why no one can spell Dennis Schroeder's name. It makes me angry. It's stupid. There's no E in his name. Everyone puts an E in his name. It's not how you fucking spell his name. It's stupid. 2, what a disaster on both ends. Why the Cavs just traded for Hunter last year. Now they're going to ship him off for this, which Ellis is good, so I guess that's fine. If the Kings do this, it's an embarrassment. Oh my God. What are you doing? And 3, to you, Sam, this proves the importance of Sam Hauser because the Cavs traded for DeAndre Hunter because he was shooting 40%, but he's not actually a good shooter. He shot 40% for 1 year with no sample size, and they're like, oh, this guy can be a shooter for us. And now he's shooting 30% again. This is why it's important to have consistent three-point shooters, and that's what Sam Hauser is. And now they're going to trade DeAndre Hunter for Keon Ellis, Dennis Schroeder, and Dario Saric.
Every year, I have a responsibility to question what Sam Hauser does, and then he gets his head out of the sand. He just had moments the last couple seasons where I'm like, man, this guy isn't delivering how he should. And then all of a sudden he turns around. So I'll take the hashtag thank you, Sam, can trend if you guys would like. The Cavs are just in a brutal spot. They're going to be in the second apron and they're not really playing that well. At least when the Celtics were there last year and the year before, you could justify it, be like, well, they're a generationally good team. Cleveland is just not that. And it feels like they should have a busy trade deadline. I think the players that they would get in return for DeAndre Hunter actually would help them. I think Schroeder was really good for the Pistons last year off the bench. Cleveland feels like they're lacking that. Lonzo hasn't really been what they hoped he'd be. And because of that, they're lacking depth there. Keon Ellis is a guy that everyone is raving about. He had a decent showing against the Celtics yesterday. He wasn't fantastic or anything, but you can see why teams like him. He can shoot the ball. He's active on defense. He plays hard. Those things matter. Saric is an experienced player, so having him isn't the worst thing either. The Lonzo part of this is also interesting because he's another name that keeps getting tied in to these trade rumors.
Mm-hmm.
And for a minute, I was like, whoa, I was saying to you and Nick yesterday, the only way I would really get behind trading Simons is if they did it and shedded salary and then got a decent player back and then had enough room to bring in somebody else to fill the void left by Simons. Now I was like, wonder how nice Lonzo would fit here. He plays defense. He's a smart player. He passes the ball well. And there have been times in the past where he's shot well and also has impacted winning. Remember before he got hurt in Chicago, that Bulls team was off to a tremendous start. And then I looked and I was like, oh no, never mind. I'm all right, man. Just shooting 29% from the field, sub 30
29
from 3.
Sub 30 from the field and from 3. Not shooting
I'm
the ball
okay.
well.
Not for 10 mil. I'm okay.
Not great. Not great from Lonzo, unfortunately. But yeah.
What if LeVar was at the game sometimes?
Stop. Radless, go ahead. We're not starting. We're not opening that.
Rat list is man, my lips are chapped. I'm so sick of my shit's so dry. Sam, get chapstick. I really do need to get chapstick. I've just never been. I don't like the way it feels, but I also don't like the way this feels. So I think I need to choose one. But yeah, I would like it if my lips are not just getting brutally beaten. I showed up to the game yesterday. First of all, shout out to those in the city the last couple games, just opening the Red Sea for me to get good parking spaces. I appreciate that. My walk from my car to TD Garden yesterday was treacherous. I was crying, not on purpose, not emotionally, just cold crying. Nose was running. I got into the actual gym and I was sitting there. It took me like 20 minutes to get warm again. I could not. I was like shook to my core. That's how cold it's been up here.
It's far
18
too
degrees
cold
out today. The woman India who works in the cafeteria was telling me it's supposed to be 0 up there today. So I think you guys have it worse than me. But awful.
Yeah. Not fun. Too cold. Way too cold. I'm not a fan of it. Ratless, I mean, you could hear it in my voice. My throat has been brutal the whole week. I think I was sleeping with my mouth open. Like, that has to be it. I think that's what led
I do
to
that every day.
this, but yeah, it's not fun. I don't feel great. I'm gonna watch the Royal Rumble today though, so I'm excited for that.
What if Joe Mazzulla shows up? He probably won't.
That'd be electric.
He should do it. I want to ask him one day. I feel like Joe Mazzulla is the type of guy that would get mad at you for talking about professional wrestling because he likes like the real fighting. So he would think that's such a sham compared to like the UFC and stuff. Or I should say like I don't know, wrestling people get mad at you, say it's fake. It's not fake. It's like it's not a sport, it's a performance. It's different. But can you imagine? He'd be incredible. Probably won't happen because it's in Saudi Arabia, but I'm holding out hope that he shows up. I'll also be going to my friends to watch. It's like the top wrestling event, I think, of the year for me.
It's
like I'm not really a wrestling guy. I liked it growing up. I'm aware of it.
It's just the allure of not knowing who's coming out next. It's like, who could it be?
And Bobby Kravitsky, shout out to him, drove some great conversation with us pregame and then postgame about like the All-Star game in the NBA. And he was listening to the Bill Simmons podcast where they pitched, what if they did a one-on-one King of the Court for All-Star weekend, but it was the Royal Rumble, where the next guy just comes out. You don't know who it's going to be. It could be a WNBA player. It could be a college player. It could be like an influencer. It could be anybody that tries to win. That would be must watch. I would be in my chair every year. Legends come out. It would be like, I don't know what I would do with myself. That like the NBA needs to do that like yesterday. They need to get that done.
No, that'd be sick.
The All-Star game, I don't know what's going on. They got 3 teams. They're playing each other for a quarter at a time. It makes no sense. There's 2 USA teams. I don't think there's any distinguishment between them. It's not West Coast versus East Coast. It's just we have too many guys from here, so we're going to make 2 teams. Like they saw the 4 nations from hockey last year and got like the bug, and they were like, man, we got to do something cool like that. And no one's going to care.
I don't even know how it works. I haven't looked at it.
No idea.
No idea. But what are you gonna do? I don't really have anything else. It's kind of all. It's too cold. My throat hurts. That's my complaints today.
Oh yeah, you were saying you sleep with your mouth open. I sleep with my mouth open every night. Like my girlfriend like makes fun of it. She's like, "Why do you do that?" I'm like, I can't sleep unless I get like a nice drool going first. Like for me to like really like, I'm gonna hit hard and sleep good. I can feel it. It's almost like you like come out and make like your first couple shots in a game. That's like me drooling on the pillow. It's the same thing. My room has no windows. Did I talk about this on the show or did I talk about this in person to you? Because you were talking about your sleep schedule, and I was like, man, I think that I could like set a world record for sleep, but I have too much stuff I want to do.
Yeah.
My room has no outdoor windows. It's like in the middle of my apartment. And so I have to sleep with the door open. And I only know what time it is because of the light I see in the hallway, but it doesn't really wake me up. Like I'm still able to sleep. Like I wake up at 10 some days because freelance. And I could probably go back to bed for 5 hours, I feel like. I miss sleeping with the sun waking me up. I went on vacation. We had the sun come in our room to wake us up every day. I was up at like 6 going for a run. Didn't get tired all day. Felt good. Here, I'm just like, I'm up for 2 hours. I need to go back to bed. It's not good.
Brutal. Oh, all right. Shall we wrap it up? I'm sorry, I'm exhausted. My throat hurts. I'm like, I can't talk.
We can wrap it up
anymore.
there. Yeah, no,
I'm
we can wrap it
dying.
up
All right, appreciate y'all for tuning in. Leave a like, subscribe, and I'll let Sam take it out.
Hey, thank you very much for listening and watching. Make sure you leave a like, comment, subscribe. We're here every single day with new stuff. Full pods drop Tuesday, Thursday, Sunday. Game recaps are up the morning after each game. Other videos are here in between to keep you up to date with all things Celtics. You can find Jack and I streaming pregame live with Nick NBA before each game, bringing in special guests to join us too. Come hang out. It's a lot of fun. You can find us on Spotify and Apple. All pods and recaps are there. So if you just want those followed, they will go right to your feed. Leave a 5-star review. We'd appreciate that very much. You can email us, hbtcpod@gmail.com. Read them every single time we do the show. hbtcpod@gmail.com. Our socials are at How About Them C's for Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok. Facebook's name of the podcast. All streams are there. They're on YouTube. They're on Twitter. Jack's Twitter is Jack's1NBA. Mine's at Sam LaFrance NBA. That's it for us.
Taco, come on.
Taco's having some fun here.
That is bogus. These guys are ridiculous.